Welcome to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm John White. With me today is Vlois Pierce. Vlois is the master gardener here in Doñana County. In Vlois, we have some plants that we were talking about that would add some color to a landscape and yet not use a whole lot of water.
These are great choices.
You want to tell us about this one here?
Well, I didn't expect to get to do that, but we have this beautiful little ice plant, and I won't even try to say the Latin name.
Well, the ice plant, there are several different kinds of ice plant out there as far as varieties of ice plant and species, and this is one that has a little bit smaller thickness as far as the leaf. We have some with gigantic leaves on them. Those a lot of times aren't that hardy in the area. And then we have one that has a little bit larger leaf that is more hardy. This one's kind of medium hardy, and then we have a little miniature one that has even smaller leaves on it.
Now, this color is not as hardy as the yellow and the orange, right?
Right.
The yellow, this is a nice accent to those that'll really grow really well.
Right. And the ice plant is a plant that doesn't require a lot of water, but it does need to be watered. It stores a lot of its water in its leaves. Some people do have a problem with ice plant being bothered by birds. The birds will come in and peck away looking for moisture at those, and in some cases they've really decimated them bad. So you might start with a trial planting and see how they go, but they do love the full sun, and in some of the mild winters we've had here in southern part of the state, they have bloomed all winter long, so they are
and the
nice,
rabbits
colorful.
like to eat it too.
Okay. Here's a kind of an interesting plant. This is a gopher plant, or one of our euphorbias. And gopher plant is one that gophers are supposed to resist, and being a euphorbia, does have the white latex juice to it that is quite caustic and not anything you really want to take a bite into.
And
so maybe it does have some resistance on gophers.
If I cut this off right here, will it also grow roots? Look at that right there.
Yeah, you can root it or get some more sprouts to come out, fill back out. This one was cut off, and you can see where you've gotten all these sprouts out of the bottom. And this is kind of the flower on it, if you want to call it a flower. But it is a plant that's pretty good where you might have some gopher problems, and works there.
So now, it's not just called a gopher plant just for the fun of it.
Right. Now this is one of the penstemons. This is Perry's penstemon, and there are a lot of different penstemons that kind of help to herald in the spring. They are spring bloomers and will bloom on into the early part of the summer. These nice tubular flowers are just great for hummingbirds. Love them. And these plants are quite temperamental as far as their water needs. They don't like to be overwatered, but they don't want to be kept on the real dry side either. So it'll take a little work, and once they're in bloom, you want to be careful about overwatering, because you can kill them off with overwatering.
And they'll self-seed very well in a garden.
And they do sometimes mix, so some of the little plants that come up, a lot of times you end up with a kind of a combination of the two colors.
Oh, that's a nice plant, though, in anybody's garden.
Right. Here's a paper flower, and paper flower is a native of our desert areas around here. We find it more in areas, alongside roadways and stuff.
Real easy to kill with too much water.
Right. Likes a well-drained soil. This particular plant, right now you can't see it, but this will fill with yellow bloom, and it just is covered with yellow bloom.
And it dries beautifully for garlands and things like that, or dry flower displays.
Right.
The flower, when this yellow flower is going to turn white and papery looking. It's gorgeous.
But this is a great plant also for use. And another one that's in our desert yellows, and this is one that again is native to our desert areas here around the southern part of the state, and this is called desert marigold. And even though the flower doesn't look like our typical garden marigold, this is a great plant, really a heat lover, gets by on very little water, but it does need a well-drained soil to be in. We kind of consider this a kind of a weak perennial. It'll stay pretty hardy with you for a few years, and then it gradually fades out, so you need to reseed, or it'll reseed
Well, it'll
itself.
reseed itself because this will get dry, and you can just sprinkle this around like you do with Cosmos. And this little feathery, fluffy leaf is also real pretty at night.
Right.
Have you noticed that it'll
Yeah.
if the moon shines on it,
Right.
it'll be
Gives you
really
good-
gorgeous.
And one that's not really a native, but is one that uses smaller amounts of water and yet has a lot of bang for its buck, is the new Gold Lantana. And this is a variety of lantana that has been used kind of throughout the Southwest. It's gained a lot of popularity. You can't exactly tell the color on these flowers, but it has a real nice bright yellow gold color to it. And when this thing's in full bloom, loves the heat. The hotter it gets, the better this plant does, and it'll just fill with yellow bloom.
What kind of pest will attack this guy?
White fly is probably the only thing that might bother it, but we have not seen a lot of problems with it. So this is a plant that really gives you a lot of color, a lot of bang for your buck.
Good choices.
So
I
we
think I'll
got
add
some-
a couple of these to
Got
my
some great
garden.
plants.
Well, thank you.
Well, Blois, thank you for being with us today.